Like that. 7 years of perfect service, gone. Pending investigation for, quote, gross violation of protocol and financial misconduct.
That's that's rough. And what's really fascinating here and kind of profound is how the sources we looked at analyze her decision.
Yeah.
They suggest it wasn't just about being kind in that moment. It might be part of a deeper pattern, something they call the mammy complex.
Okay, tell me more about that. That sounds heavy.
It is, and it has deep historical roots. The research describes it less as a weakness and more as a survival mechanism developed during slavery. Black women were often punished for prioritizing their own families, but rewarded for extreme self-sacrifice towards others.
Wow.
And the idea is that this kind of programming, this expectation can persist across generations. It can manifest as this almost automatic drive to put others' needs first, sometimes, like with Maya, at a huge personal cost.
So it's like this ingrained habit of self-sacrifice.
Exactly. And there's data that seems to support this pattern. The studies mentioned in our sources show Black women are, I think it was 40% more likely than any other group to provide unpaid care to people who aren't even family.
40%, that's huge.
It is. And they're also most likely to work extra hours without pay, take on emotional labor that's not in their job description, and even hold back their own careers for someone else's comfort or advancement. Maya's actions that night really fit that description perfectly.
That data really makes you stop and think, doesn't it? Hearing about this pattern, it kind of makes you wonder how these dynamics might be playing out, maybe subtly in our own lives or just things we see around us.
Definitely food for thought.
Okay, so Maya's suspended. Things look bleak. But then the story takes this absolutely wild turn.
Uh-huh.
3 days later, Mr. Williams comes back to the hospital. But he's not a patient anymore. He's in this expensive-looking suit, looks sharp, confident,
No.
and he asks to see the hospital administrator.
Okay, now, you might be thinking, here it comes. The fairy tale ending. Rich guy finds out, rewards the nurse.
Yeah, that's what you'd expect in a movie.
Right. But the sources emphasize, real life is usually messier than that.
Because it turns out that Robert Williams isn't just some random elderly guy. He's Robert Williams III, majority owner of the Williams Healthcare Group.
Wait, the group that owns this hospital?
This hospital and 12 others, net worth around $847 million,
Wow. So the man she saved?
own the hospital that fired her for saving him.
Yeah.
The irony is just incredible.
So what did he do?
Well, when he found out what happened to Maya, he was livid, absolutely furious, but not at her.
At the system.
Exactly. He launched this week-long investigation into how his own hospitals treated uninsured patients. And what he found, apparently, really disgusted him.